I think programmatic is the enablement of a lot of the trading and execution that we do with media, leveraging technology. So most importantly, leveraging some kind of addressability in media, right? So how can we target, who are we going after, and then some sort of real-time access or nature. So how do we decision in real time based on that individual and the media properties, and leverage that for kind of optimization and use really the technology to enhance the speed of, I hesitate to say trading, but really the execution of media. Yeah, I think if you look at even what happened in the finance industry when that happened, you still have folks like Goldman Sachs who emerge as folks who can use real-time data and technology and still be creative and consultative. And I think that's what we're seeing now is that folks are transitioning from being relationship-oriented to being data-oriented, and those relationships, both on the sales side and the client side, are really driven by who's bringing the intelligence, who's bringing the insight to the equation, who can really affect change leveraging that data. Yeah, I think so. I think it's when you look at how that ecosystem is circular, right? How audiences consume media, and that media is monetized on behalf of the publisher, and that relationship is, I think it's important to understand all that relationship, and that's a lot, I think, what we're trying to focus on is both sides of that. But delivering, really good content to the consumer is, expensive and costly, but so making that worthwhile for the publisher and doing it in, efficient ways that drive yield for publishers and also, deliver results for advertisers is what's going to make that sustainable. I think it's very pervasive in our culture, our hiring, our prioritization of where we're focused from a strategy standpoint. I think it underlies every strategic initiative. So if you look at mobile or addressability or video, everything has to have that programmatic component. And even something like Huffington Post and content properties, the focus is always at how can we leverage programmatic to make this more scalable and drive greater monetization, leveraging it throughout. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think programmatic manifests itself in everyone's way, and all the platforms you mentioned rely 100% on their scale, and you really can't scale without programmatic or being able to leverage technology in some way to get the scale out of those platforms. I think we're looking for ways to apply it to really interesting content and creative. Facebook and Twitter applying it to social and engagement platforms, but it's going to be a tool that manifests itself in a lot of different ways for both marketers and consumers to interact with those messages, whatever form they take. I think it's definitely different types of people and different skill sets. I think that's part of what the struggle is, that it's not moving faster, is that you deal a lot of times with legacy organizations and siloed decisioning and data control. Programmatic is really pushing that away to say breaking down silos, looking for central decisioning and central budgeting, and really different roles, right? The mixing of marketing orgs with technology orgs, and having people that can really span data analysis and marketing strategy and intelligence is really a new skill set that's driven by this. Our goal is to really build a platform that supports this ecosystem, that supports an advertiser, a marketer's interaction with content and advertising. We're doing it in a way that's bringing together a lot of different assets that we've accumulated as AOL in the portfolio over the last 15 years, but doing it in a way that we feel addresses some of the over complexities that are in the market. So goals, you could call it an operating system, but it's really a simple collection of tools that's open, right? So we know that everybody's not going to use every one of our tools, but we want to make it interoperable, and we really think that's kind of addressing some of the over complexity and confusion that's caused by some of the tech in the space right now. Yeah, I think so, and it's definitely going to take different forms with different channels and platforms. But you know, if you go back to that core concept of, you know, it's about some sort of automation and addressability and speed of insight to action, really wrapped in technology. You know, it's not going to be the same for linear television as it is for display ads and outdoor media and radio, but those concepts are going to be pervasive throughout. As you know, how are we leveraging technology, targeting, identity, and really good measurement around media to affect change and to make it, you know, ultimately more effective for all parties.